when it comes to site architecture, one of the big important things for SEO, you want to make sure that you've got a strong internal linking strategy. And that internal linking means exactly what it sounds like, is those links that draw one page in your site to another page in your site. And that could be as simple as the navigation of your site. It could be things like having tags and all kinds of other stuff. But really, what you're trying to do, and this is kind of the first step of the three things I'm going to talk about, is you're trying to create a web internally of all these pages, so everything touches everything else. And what that does is make sure that the search engines, when they come by their site, that they can get to all those other pages and nothing's buried, right? And because the idea is that you want to try and make your site as flat as possible to search engines, so they don't have to put a lot of effort into crawling it because they're busy. They've got every site in the world to look at, and they're not going to waste a bunch of time on yours if it's not set up right. So again, create a web of content. Next, make sure that when you're linking to those other pages all over the site, is that you've got to create a keyword-rich anchor text on there, so that make sure that the word isn't just click here or more information or next or anything basic like that, because nobody cares about that. And what you want to make sure is that that link is actually talking about what that article on the other end is going to be about. So make sure it's a nice big keyword that is really going to help you out in the long run. And then third, go back and think about like a URL structure or your web addresses internally, right? Don't make them too gobbledygook, right? Don't make them with a lot of bizarre characters or anything like that. Make sure that those URLs actually have some keywords into them as well, but just make sure they're not too long, make sure they're not too crazy, and make sure, again, that everything's as flat as possible so that it's easy to navigate around your site. Google looks at all those kind of things. All the search engines look at all those kind of things, and the less complicated and the easier to read for them, the more easy it'll read to be for the users that come by, and you'll show up better in the search engine results.